Darkness descends, setting the stage for a monster. The year 1974. America, a nation grappling with economic turmoil and the aftermath of the Vietnam War, found itself on the brink of a new kind of horror. In the heart of the Midwest, a city known for its sprawling plains and friendly people was about to meet its monster. His name, Dennis Rader. But to the world, he would become known as BTK. Wichita, Kansas, a city of Midwestern charm, where life moved at a slower pace and neighbors knew each other by name. Families felt safe, doors were left unlocked and children played freely in the streets. Little did they know, a darkness was about to descend, casting a long shadow over their peaceful existence. A predator was among them, hiding in plain sight, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Dennis Rader, an ordinary man leading an ordinary life, a family man, a churchgoer, a Boy Scout leader. No one suspected the sinister thoughts that plagued his mind. The meticulous plans he crafted in the shadows, the dark desires he desperately tried to suppress. But the monster within was about to break free, unleashing a reign of terror that would haunt Wichita for decades to come. January 15th, 1974, the Otero family massacre. The cold January air hung heavy over Wichita, a day like any other, soon to be shattered by an unimaginable horror. The Otero family, unsuspecting, went about their morning routine. Joseph the father preparing for work, Julie the mother tending to their children, 10-year-old Josephine and 9-year-old Joseph Jr., blissfully unaware of the evil lurking just outside their door. Section 2, bind, torture, kill, the signature of a sadistic mind. Around 7:30 a.m., a stranger entered their lives. Dennis Rader, his face hidden behind a mask of madness, forced his way into the Otero home. What followed was a scene of unspeakable brutality. Rader, driven by a twisted fantasy, bound, tortured, and ultimately took the lives of each family member. Section 3. A city gripped by fear. The BTK Killer's shadow looms large. News of the Otero family murders spread through Wichita like wildfire. Fear wormed its way into the hearts of the once peaceful community. The realization that a sadistic killer walked among them, hiding in plain sight, sent chills down their spines. The city held its breath, united in fear and uncertainty. Section 4. The chilling aftermath, a community haunted by unsolved murders. The Otero murders marked the beginning of a nightmare. The Wichita Police Department launched a full-scale investigation, desperate to find the perpetrator. But the trail was cold, the killer cunning and elusive. Little did they know, it was only the first act in a gruesome play that would span decades. A city on edge. The early days of the investigation. Panic gripped Wichita. The brutal nature of the Otero murders sent shockwaves through the community. Police worked tirelessly, following every lead, every whisper. The pressure mounted to find the killer and bring him to justice. Taunting the hunters, BTK's communication with the police. Months passed, then years. The case grew cold, the trail going quiet. Then, a chilling development. BTK, as he began to call himself, reached out. Letters, poems, even puzzles mailed to the police and local media. Dead ends and frustration, the investigation runs cold. Each communication a macabre window into the killer's psyche. They taunted the police, flaunted his crimes, instilled terror in Wichita. Despite their best efforts, the police were always one step behind. Years turned into decades and the case went cold, leaving a city scarred and a killer at large. Section 4. A glimmer of hope. New technology offers a second chance. As time passed, technology advanced. DNA analysis, once a futuristic concept, became a powerful tool for law enforcement. The BTK case, though seemingly forgotten, lingered in the minds of detectives. Could this new technology be the key to unlocking the mystery that had haunted them for so long? Section 1. 2004. A ghost resurfaces, reopening old wounds. 30 years had passed since the Otero family murders. Wichita had moved on, the memories fading, the scars remaining. Then a chilling echo from the past. BTK, silent for decades, resurfaced. Section 2, a digital trail, the careless mistake that exposed a killer. Letters, packages and messages once again found their way to the police and media, but this time BTK made a fatal error. In his arrogance, he craved attention, control. He sent a message on a floppy disk, seeking assurance that his digital tracks couldn't be traced. His confidence was his undoing. February 25th, 2005. The walls close in on Dennis Rader. The police, armed with this crucial mistake, worked tirelessly to unravel the digital web. The floppy disk revealed a deleted file, a name, Dennis. Further investigation uncovered a chilling truth. Dennis Rader, the unassuming church council president, the Boy Scout leader, was BTK. Justice, at last. A city breathes again, haunted no more. On February 25th, 2005, the nightmare finally ended. Dennis Rader was arrested outside his Wichita home, a seemingly ordinary man revealed to be a monster in disguise. The news of his capture spread like wildfire, a collective sigh of relief sweeping through the city. The boogeyman had been unmasked, the terror he had inflicted finally over. The mind of a monster, delving into the depths of Dennis Rader. The capture of Dennis Rader sent shockwaves through Wichita and beyond. How could someone so seemingly ordinary, so deeply embedded in the community, be responsible for such horrific acts? The world grappled with the chilling reality of a monster hiding in plain sight. The investigation into Rader's psyche, his motivations, his ability to compartmentalize his dark desires became a subject of intense scrutiny. Section 2, The Mask of Sanity. A family man, a churchgoer, a killer. Dennis Rader lived a double life. To his family, his neighbors, his church community, he was a devoted husband, a caring father, a pillar of the community. He attended church regularly, sang in the choir, and even served as president of his church council. Yet beneath this veneer of normalcy, a darkness festered. Section 3. Power and control. The driving forces behind BTK's reign of terror. Dennis Rader, infamously known as the BTK Killer, orchestrated a reign of terror that spanned decades. His actions were not random. They were meticulously planned and executed with a chilling precision. The driving forces behind his horrific crimes were deeply rooted in his need for power and control. Experts believe that Rader's need for power and control fueled his horrific crimes. This insatiable desire for dominance was evident in every aspect of his life. From his seemingly normal existence as a family man and church leader to his dark, hidden persona as a cold-blooded killer, Rader's duality was a testament to his complex psyche. He meticulously planned each crime, selecting his victims with care and stalking them for weeks, sometimes months, before making his move. The act of binding, torturing and killing his victims provided him with a perverse sense of control over their lives. Each step of his gruesome ritual was designed to assert his dominance and instill fear. The binding was not just a physical act, but a symbolic one, representing his complete control over his victims. The torture was a means to break their spirit, to show them that he held their fate in his hands. And the killing was the final act of power, the ultimate assertion of his control. His communications with the police and media, filled with taunts and boasts, were another manifestation of this need for control. Rader reveled in the attention he received, often sending letters detailing his crimes and mocking the authorities' inability to catch him. These communications were not just about bragging. They were a way for him to maintain control over the narrative, to keep the city in a state of fear and uncertainty. Each letter, each phone call was a reminder that he was still out there watching, waiting, and ready to strike again. He reveled in the fear he instilled, the attention he craved, the power he wielded over an entire city. The city of Wichita was gripped by a palpable sense of dread, with residents living in constant fear of the unknown predator in their midst. Rader's ability to blend into society, to appear as an ordinary neighbor, only heightened the terror. He was the monster next door, the wolf in sheep's clothing, and he thrived on the chaos and fear he created. His reign of terror was a dark chapter in the city's history, a chilling reminder of the depths of human depravity and the devastating impact of one man's quest for power and control. Section 4, The Legacy of a Monster. Scars on a community, questions that remain. Wichita, a city known for its friendly neighborhoods and close-knit community, was forever changed by the actions of one man. The name Dennis Rader, or BTK, became synonymous with fear and betrayal. His capture brought a sense of closure to Wichita, but the scars of his crimes run deep. Dennis Rader's capture brought a sense of closure to Wichita, a city that had been gripped by fear for decades. The relief was palpable, yet it was accompanied by a lingering sense of disbelief. How could someone who seemed so ordinary, a family man and a church leader, commit such heinous acts? The community was left grappling with these questions, trying to make sense of the duality of human nature. But the scars of his crimes run deep. The memorials and plaques serve as a constant reminder of the lives lost and the families shattered. Each flower placed at these memorials represents a story of pain and loss, a life cut short by Rader's monstrous actions. The community's healing process is ongoing as they strive to remember the victims and support the survivors. The community was forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that a monster had lived among them, hidden in plain sight. Neighbors who once felt safe now looked at each other with suspicion, wondering how they could have missed the signs. The sense of security that once defined Wichita was shattered, replaced by a pervasive sense of vulnerability. The realization that evil can lurk in the most unsuspecting places was a hard pill to swallow. The case of BTK remains a chilling reminder of the duality of human nature, the capacity for good and evil that exists within us all. Rader's ability to lead a double life, to be a loving father and a ruthless killer, challenges our understanding of morality and human behavior. It forces us to question how well we truly know the people around us and what darkness may lie beneath the surface. The capacity for good and evil that exists within us all. The community's response to Rader's crimes has been a testament to their resilience and unity. Vigils and memorials have become a way for people to come together, to find solace in shared grief, and to honor the memories of the victims. These gatherings serve as a reminder that despite the darkness, there is also light and hope in the strength of the community. And while justice was served, the question remains, how could someone like Dennis Rader exist? And what can we learn from his horrific crimes to prevent such tragedies in the future? The trial and subsequent conviction of Rader provided some answers, but many questions still linger. Experts in criminal behavior continue to study his case, hoping to uncover insights that could help prevent future atrocities. The community, too, remains vigilant, determined to protect their loved ones and ensure that such evil never takes root again. And what can we learn from his horrific crimes to prevent such tragedies in the future? the discussions and panels on criminal behavior have become an essential part of the healing process. They provide a platform for experts to share their knowledge and for the community to voice their concerns and fears. Group therapy sessions offer a space for survivors and their families to process their trauma and find support in one another. Through these efforts, Wichita continues to rebuild, striving to turn their pain into a force for positive change. Section 1. The Price of Evil, Wichita's Long Journey to Healing. The capture of Dennis Rader brought a sense of relief to Wichita, but the road to healing for the families of the victims and the community as a whole was long and arduous. The scars of BTK's reign of terror ran deep, leaving an indelible mark on the city's psyche. The fear, the uncertainty, the haunting knowledge that a monster had walked among them continued to linger. Section 2, Guardians at the Gate, Lessons Learned, Vigilance Maintained. In the wake of the BTK case, communities across the nation were jolted into a new reality. The case was a chilling reminder that even the most serene neighborhoods are not immune to the shadows of malevolence. It was a wake-up call that resonated far and wide, urging citizens and law enforcement alike to adopt a more vigilant stance. The BTK case served as a stark reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It shattered the illusion of safety that many communities held dear, revealing that danger could be hiding just around the corner. This realization prompted a collective shift in mindset, emphasizing the need for heightened awareness and proactive measures to safeguard our neighborhoods. It highlighted the importance of vigilance, of community awareness, and of the need for constant evolution in law enforcement techniques. Neighborhood watch programs gained renewed significance as residents banded together to keep a watchful eye on their surroundings. Community meetings became forums for sharing information and strategies, fostering a sense of unity and shared responsibility. Law enforcement agencies, too, recognized the necessity of staying ahead of the curve, continually refining their methods and embracing new technologies to combat crime more effectively. The case also underscored the critical role of advancing technology in solving complex crimes. The integration of cutting-edge tools and techniques became indispensable in the pursuit of justice. From sophisticated software that could analyze patterns and predict criminal behavior to advanced forensic methods that could uncover hidden evidence, technology became a powerful ally in the fight against crime. DNA analysis, which played a pivotal role in Rader's capture, became a cornerstone of criminal investigations, offering hope for solving cold cases and bringing closure to grieving families. The meticulous work of scientists in crime labs, painstakingly analyzing samples and sequencing DNA, opened new avenues for justice. Cold case files, once gathering dust in police archives, were revisited with renewed vigor as the potential for breakthroughs became more tangible. The BTK case, with its harrowing lessons, ultimately paved the way for a more vigilant and technologically adept approach to law enforcement, ensuring that the guardians at the gate remain ever watchful.